The only thing we have to fear is beer itself.
Beer. So many choices.
Only no function beer well without.
Woohoo! Beer!
Hello and welcome to another episode of Beer Busters, where we're going to bring in the news and reviews, of course, of some wonderful brews. My name is Dan Baker, joined, as always, by my co-host and brewologist,
Steph Hefner,
and the demented and fermented
Wayne Baker.
That guy right there. We're home. We're back in our studio.
Yay!
We Beer Busters Podcast Basement. I forget the official name of this place.
Beer Busters Podcast Basement.
All right, so it's been so long
that you forgot which side the table went on.
Yeah. So for anybody who obviously there's 5 of us around the table that can see this, and Rich in the background. We're sitting at a pool table with a plank of wood on it that has the microphone set up and this beautiful array of growlers of beers. But to my left is a fold-away card table that has our giant mixer and the computer that we use to record on. And I couldn't remember which side of me I put that on. It still feels weird because I'm pretty sure every time we're on the road, it's on my right, but now it's on my left. Anyway, that's enough about ourselves.
Wow, really pulling back the curtain there.
We really are. We really are.
Some behind-the-scenes exclusives.
Yeah, it's the struggle of setting up the podcast at home where we haven't been in forever. But
you know what, Dan?
What?
You could probably see pictures of all of this and more if you become a patron on patreon.com/beerbusters.
You're beating me to it already. We haven't even introduced our guests, and you're already trying to get money. Well,
that's what we do.
Well, we are back home, and we're back home because we have 2 guys that are with us that were kind enough to donate some time and bring 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 beers?
A lot of beers.
9 beers, because we have our sipping beer that we'll talk about in a second. But we have returning
Andrew Rothacker
and
Joel Charles.
Now, Joel's not returning, but Joel, thank you for coming around for the first time. And thank you for bringing him with, Andrew.
You're welcome. He actually drove, so I feel
okay. So technically,
I brought him,
Andrew.
so you're welcome.
All right.
Well, thank you.
Oh, now it comes.
But thank you more for bringing all the beer.
Yes.
Well, yeah, there's always that. Now, of course, you may recognize Andrew from many episodes ago, 40-something episodes ago, from Lancaster CSB, community-supported beer, which we'll get into the details of all that very shortly. And Joel is your compatriot in that business.
Yep.
Which we're very, I almost said the E word, very happy to have you here so we can kind of delve into, because I think it's a good thing you guys are doing for local beer, and I think a lot of people could benefit from it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good stuff. Now, Wayne already tackled Patreon, but we can't forget that this episode is brought to you by Audible, audibletrial.com/beerbusters. You can sign up for a free 30-day trial of Audible. You can download and keep an audiobook of your choosing. There's almost anything that's released nowadays is on there. Jim Cook has a book that was released not too long ago. You can get Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, which is always a good one to go through. You can get The Science of Star Trek, which I have. I haven't listened to it in a long time, so don't ask me any questions about it. But audibletrial.com/beerbusters.
I listened to a book on audible.com. It was To Kill a Mockingbird.
Oh, there you go. A classic.
It's a classic.
That is a classic.
It's good.
Now, Steph, do you want to fill people in?
Speaking of drinking local beer, we have 2 awesome events coming up for our local beer lovers. The Ephrata Beer Fest, which we know has been a long time coming, is coming up on Saturday, June 25th. Gates will open at 12:30 with pouring begin at 1, running from 1 to 4. This is a joint venture with the Ephrata Public Library, the Ephrata Rec Center, and Downtown Ephrata. Participating breweries include Cox Brewing, St. Boniface Brewing, Black Forest Brewery, Union Barrel Works, Wacker Brewing, Lancaster Brewing Company, Mooduk Brewery, Howling Henry's Brewery, Mad Chef, and Renewal Kombucha, and there are many, many more to come. It will be at the Whistle Stop Plaza in Ephrata. $30 if you buy your tickets now in advance. They're going to be $40 at the gate, and $10 DD tickets are available. Beer Busters will be in the house, as well as some live entertainment, and food will be available for purchase.
Yay!
Now, another fest coming up, Pottstown Brewfest, is returning to Manatawny Park on October 22nd, 2016 for another celebration of craft beer. There'll be over 150 beers and ciders from 65 plus of the best craft brewers from the Mid-Atlantic. Now, the VIP session is what you need to focus on because that's going to give a whole extra hour of drinking and some very tasty and rare, desirable beers that will only be available to the VIPs. So get your VIP ticket now, limited to 350 people. This fest was named the best outdoor event in Montgomery County last year, and this year they promised to make it even better. The local band Celtic Spirits will be there playing, and breweries like 2SP, Armstrong Ales, Brew Clear Homebrew Club, Chatty Monks, Conshohocken Brewing, Craft Ale House, Doylestown Brewing, Evil Genius, Freecon Cidery, Free Will, Hewitt Brothers Handcrafted Ales, Hidden River, Hijinks, Lancaster Brewing Company, Levante, Manayunk, Neshaminy Creek, Penn Brewery, River Horse, Round Guys, I know I had to breathe, St. Benjamin,
I was waiting for it.
Creek, Sly Fox, Springhouse, Stable 12, Sterling Pig, Stickman, Stone, Brewery at Hershey, Other Farm, Trogs, Victory, Weyerbacher, and Yards. It's going to be an awesome
All right,
day.
now if you didn't get that, Steph's going to repeat it.
No.
Isn't there that rewind button?
There is.
Not in live radio, my
the
friend,
beauty
or
of
recorded
podcasts.
podcasting. So before we get into the news, we have a sipping beer that I've already taken a sip of. Steph, what are we sipping on?
We do. I had a bottle of Fetish in the fridge, and, I have to say, Andrew was the first person that ever introduced me to Fetish.
Oh,
so
I
felt
remember
like
that, yeah.
This was the time to break out this bottle. So we are drinking Fetish Wild American Blonde, a 6.5% ABV American Wild Ale. And I also want to mention, speaking of CSBs and CSAs, as we talked about prior, Fetish does a CSA, and they still have about 5 spots currently available for their current CSA. $200, you get a year's worth of pickup of beers, which is at least 4 different 16.9-ounce Fetish beers a month. A free ticket to Fetish on the Farm, their annual sexy farm party, as they call it. First shot at the barrel-aged sours, and first shot at their newest, hottest fetishes, and 1 free handshake, but limit 1 free handshake per customer. So send Fetish a message on Facebook or hit them up and get one of those last spots.
Do they normally charge for handshakes?
They're very strict.
Can't just go giving out
thing,
handshakes. Yeah.
It's a fetish thing. I like this beer. It's really good. And
It's yummy.
yeah, if I were to go back in time 2 years, I would probably spit it back out. But
Yeah, you would.
It's not super.
It's not super puckery.
Yeah, it's delightfully tart.
Delightfully
Yeah, it's
tart.
really nice.
That's Wayne's review.
It's magically delicious.
They definitely have a trademark to their flavor. I'm not sure what yeast they use in all their beers, but having been a Fetish CSA member, I kind of was used to that Fetish flavor, and this is not in that. And I think that the wild aging has definitely given it a really nice characteristic. Yeah.
And there's also a Wild American Dark as well.
Ooh.
But I bought the blonde.
I'd be interested in trying that, so I got to see if I can find that. Cool. Well, it's a good beer to start sipping on. So now that we have that, let's do this. Deja vu all over
I
again.
was just going to say the same thing.
Great minds think alike.
Bizarre.
Eh? Yeah. We had a plethora of articles thanks to Steph and Rich. Thank you guys for doing my job for me.
You're welcome.
Yeah. Well, the first one I like, one of the biggest things I always try to do if I buy a 6-pack of beer or even cans of soda, stupid little the plastic rings.
Oh, the
that
ring
are on
things.
them. Yeah.
Yes.
It's if you get them, it's good to cut them up. That way, if you throw them out, they end up in a landfill. Landfill overflows into the water. Oh, hey, fish and ducks and everything are going to get caught up in it.
Turtles.
And turtles, yes. Well, Saltwater Brewery in Delray Beach, Florida, has created edible 6-pack rings that feed rather than kill marine life if the rings end up in the ocean and an animal happens to eat it. The rings are created from beer byproducts during the brewing process, such as barley and wheat, and they're completely safe for humans and fish to eat. The rings are also 100% biodegradable and compostable, which just ups the product's sustainability game. The brand says that the innovative design is as resistant and efficient as plastic packaging. The only drawback is that edible 6-pack rings are more expensive to produce, but the company hopes that customers will be willing to pay a little more in order to help the environment and animal life.
Do they come in different flavors?
No.
Wild strawberry?
That would be cool. But according to Peter Agardi, who's head of brand at Saltwater, it's a big investment for a small brewery created by fishermen, surfers, and people that love the sea. The brand also believes that if more breweries hop, the article has that in italics because it's supposed to be a pun, hop on this bandwagon, prices may go down. If more companies invested in the technology, production costs would go down and edible rings would become competitive plastic ones, saving marine lives, which is desperately needed. According to a report published in the journal, which is known as, it's an acronym. It's PNAS. I told myself I wasn't going to blow through that sentence. Researchers have found that about 90% of seabirds have eaten plastic and are likely to retain some in their gut. They also are virtually certain that by the year 2050, any seabird found dead will have plastic in its stomach. The Ocean Conservancy's 2015 Ocean Trash Index, which enlisted 561,895 volunteers to pick up a staggering 16,186,759 pounds of garbage. They also offered up a few staggering facts. It cites plastic as among the most common trash item ingested by sea turtles in 2015. And volunteers found 57 marine mammals, 450 fish, and 22 sharks, skates, and stingrays entangled in plastic. The index also explains that littering isn't the sole culprit for plastic in the ocean. It can also be blown by the wind from a trash can or dump, end up in a storm drain, and then travel through the pipes to the ocean. So I think that is really, really cool. Edible plastic rings and biodegradable and compostable. So that will help tremendously for wildlife and, well, for the planet too, which I think is great.
Now all they got to do is get to working on edible cans.
I don't know that would go over very well.
Well, cans are already very recyclable.
They are very recyclable.
And
they're highly recyclable.
The most earth-friendly container for beer.
But if you could finish your beer and then eat the can, how cool would that be?
Yeah, so is the idea with the rings that we should eat them as the consumer?
I think the idea
is
is
that
to do so. Animals should eat them, but you could.
You could if you wanted
nothing's
to.
stopping you.
I was thinking out of spaghetti. I was thinking, throw it in my compost bin. That's when I first
if it's
read the article.
compostable, absolutely.
Yeah.
Because they could just say biodegradable, but I feel like putting edible, like we as Americans are like, heck yeah, sign me up. I can eat this too.
If there was one right here in front of me, I'd eat it. Sure, why not?
We need to get our hands on one of these.
Flavors, man.
Saltwater,
Nacho chips.
you can send demos to Beer Busters Podcast. Get in touch with us. Info at beerbusterspodcast.com. We'll tell you where to send those so we can
in fact, in this
spread
case,
the word.
and in this case only, we will accept the packaging without the beer.
Yes, in this case only.
Although we'd prefer it with the beer.
Prefer it with the
beer.
beer.
Would be
Why would you even
appreciated.
say that?
Let's try to be nice.
Now, there's a couple other articles, and really I had too many to go through, so a couple quick blurbs. One, we all know Pennsylvania has some kind of strange liquor laws. However, there's a bill that would relax Pennsylvania's stringent liquor laws for the summer's Democratic National Convention in Philadelphia. And this bill has made it through the state Senate. The action is not unprecedented. The same kind of exemption was granted in 2000 when Philadelphia hosted the Republican National Convention. And businesses hosting DNC events would be eligible for a national event permit from the Liquor Control Board. And among the perks are that booze could be served past 2 a.m. and would not have to be purchased at state stores. A spokeswoman for the Senate Majority Republicans, Jennifer Cooker, says it just makes sense given what can happen when people from all over the country have to deal with Pennsylvania's complicated liquor laws.
But Pennsylvanians, you still have to deal with it 4 days later.
Yes, we will have to deal with it for the rest of time. I also think it's funny that because of the weird election circumstances, both in 2000 and now, that they are trying to make alcohol a little more available for the people that are coming in from out of town, because America, why not drink? Yeah, so I think that's going to be pretty cool.
Make America drunk again.
That's right. The DNC is going to be in Philly in July, so keep an eye for that. Beer will be able to be served, and liquor overall, past 2 a.m. Now, speaking of things that are mildly patriotic, we talked about Budweiser branding themselves as America last time.
Not Belgium? I thought that'd be more appropriate. Sorry.
It should be, considering that's where their parent company is based. There is a brewery in Canada that plans to deliver beer by Bald Eagle.
Bum-ba-da-ba.
Now, I find
that's not really an appropriate Bald Eagle intro.
No, it's not. But
I think it's more like a sick guitar riff,
right?
And then like that screech,
but not copyrighted or played by a major Southern rock.
No,
band
like the Star Spangled Banner.
We could do that.
Electric guitar,
but like the Jimi Hendrix version.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, you could do
there
that.
also has to be somebody with a mullet, like air guitar.
Yeah, of course.
Yes.
Of course. Absolutely.
Close your eyes, people, and imagine it.
And I want somebody, and maybe I should do this, to Photoshop a fake version of the Budweiser America beer, only have it say marketing gimmick.
Exactly. So this brewery.
Hashtag accurate.
My favorite article, so there's a bunch of them that had it on there, but my favorite one started off with, and I quote, "This summer, when you're reaching for a frosty can of lager and want something that makes you feel like a goddamn patriot, don't you dare grab a can of America beer, Budweiser's Pandery alter ego. Instead, try one of the new Pilsner from Phillips Brewing and Malting Company, a Canadian outfit that has dreamed up a gimmick much more American than America." So by the time this episode posts, the contest is over. And it's really a contest that you just go to their website, beerfromabird.com. and it opens up. It's got a picture of a bald eagle with a chat bubble that says, "Hey, I've got a question for you. Don't lie or I'll bite your fingers. Are you over legal drinking age?" So, assuming you would have heard about this before the deadline closed, all you really had to do was click to enter, fill out your name, and even if you don't live close to them, they would have flown you to their brewery, and one person will get to win
on a giant eagle.
Not on the giant eagle, no, but your beer will be delivered by a bald eagle. And it's trained by a local conservancy, and there was kind of the local animal rights activists were up in arms about it, but I think it's kind of cool, and it's a nice little gimmick. They have this contest that's there, so you can get your beer delivered by a bald eagle. And if you know anybody that owns a bald eagle, that would be the best way to train said eagle. Well, now that that's, thank God, over with. We do have a couple of guests with us, as you may have remembered from 10 minutes ago or heard them talking during the news. We've got our friends from Lancaster CSB here with a whole array of wonderful-looking beers in front of us, and they're all local, and that's the best part. So for anyone who may not remember the details of Lancaster CSB, Andrew, why don't you fill them in on this?
Yeah, Lancaster CSB was started a couple years ago now. Got the idea from just being a part of local CSAs in Lancaster County, where a bunch of different fresh vegetables come from different farms you can pick up as a CSA member. And I thought that's a great idea, and there are so many great local breweries, why not do the same thing for beer? So community-supported beer is something that I've seen a number of breweries do on their own, like Fetish, but I had never seen it as sourcing from multiple breweries, so I thought this would be a neat way to get all the breweries together under one membership. So what we do is we offer a 6-month membership, and in that 6 months, our members can go to the participating breweries in their featured month and get a growler fill of their beer as part of their membership. So it's a pretty neat way for you as a local person to be able to say, yeah, for the next 6 months, I'm going to go to at least one local brewery every month, and kind of commit yourself to supporting the local beer in the area. And it's really neat to be able to see local people that said, oh, I've never been to the place a couple of miles down the road, but now that I've been there, that's my local. That's the spot I go to all the time. So it's been pretty neat to see how it's been accepted over the last couple of years.
I think that's the neatest thing about the CSB is it's encouraging locals to go out and try new places that they've probably never been before. That perhaps the first time you go to one of these breweries is simply because you have the growler and you have the membership, and then it becomes a place that you go to all the time and hang out and tell people about.
Yeah, and what's really neat too that we've seen that I kind of wasn't expecting is that it's very not like it's not a touristy kind of gimmicky thing where you're just trying to pull people in to spend money, but it really is neat the way the breweries have been supported by it, and we get our best feedback from the breweries that are participating about how great our members are, and how when they come in, they're there not just to fill up a growler and leave, but to see what is great about that local brewery, what is it specifically there that they love, and they'll we see our members, and just like I do, go to the different breweries, get a sampler of different things, grab a couple of pints, grab food if it's on the menu, and then leave with the favorite thing that you drank that night. And it's a really neat way that we've seen also a lot of people kind of build in a date night for their relationships.
or their designated drivers.
Yeah, whatever it is. So we've actually seen a lot of memberships coming as gifts because they want that. Well, what do you get for the person that has everything?
Oh, so true.
Beer, just beer.
Got beer, absolutely.
Because there's never enough beer, and so that, and what's also great is fresh beer is better than not fresh beer, and so I feel like
also true.
Very astute observation.
When you get it right from the tap at the brewery, like this is what the brewer wanted it to taste like. Otherwise, it'd be down a drain. Where even like I've had cans of beer from local breweries, and they say, "Oh, the way our distributor handled that it's not exactly what we wanted it to be, but when you go to the source, you're getting it to be exactly what you want.
Now, we talk a little bit about the other voice on the microphones here, Joel, who has joined since we last talked to you, Andrew. How did you get involved, and what's your role with the CSB?
Well, so Andrew and I have been friends. I mean, I
can hear the air quotes.
I call him my
And
friend. He has never yet called me his friend.
Oh, come on.
No, that's a
Closely
joke.
acquainted.
That's
Do
it. It's a joke.
He's my friend, everybody.
That's why I came here. That's what I came
to
for.
put him on the spot, and now it's been recorded.
Yeah, it was a very Maury Povich moment right there. I was like, what are we?
You are not the
No, Andrew and I were friends in high school, and then when he started this up, I was a member for the first, I guess, year that it was going on. And then as it started to expand, and he had other stuff, including, not the least of which, a child that came along. So there were just things that came up, and he was getting to the point where he said, hey, I'm looking at having someone come to help me out. And I had sort of helped out just here and there, just as friends. I'd go to, a craft beer fest or something and work with him there. So I said, yeah, sign me up. I'll help you out with stuff. So I've been handling like the brewery relations side of it. So each membership period, we of course have to line up whoever the 6 featured breweries are. So luckily Andrew had laid the groundwork there, had the relationships in, and just sort of was able to hand it off. And then I can contact everyone in the area and try and get some new people in as well, and go through the talks and get them signed up for the CSB.
Very cool. And there's a lot of good breweries to choose from out there. And I think from the people that we've met that work for all these breweries, I mean, I'd imagine they're more than willing to join in for something like this.
Yeah.
Yeah, it seems to be getting them to join in is like the only hill to climb, really, because once people do it the first time, we really get good feedback, because you get people through the door, and it really does. There are a lot of people who do it as gifts. And so you'll have someone who they get this membership, they're going to use it, they're going to go and try it out. And I mean, I'm a perfect example. I'm someone who, until I became a member, I knew of all these places, but I had only been to 1 or 2 of them. Once you have the membership and you've paid the money, you're like, well, I'm going to go fill my growler there. And then I would, in my case, perfect example, I'd get a group of my friends and say, hey, I've got to fill my growler. Why don't we make a whole night of it? We'd go, we'd have food, we'd have drinks, and then the growler would end up just sort of being the afterthought on it. So, but yeah, breweries, once they sign in, just it's very positive feedback of seeing CSB members coming in and just talking to them, getting new faces in the door.
The same thing happened with Rich and I. Friends of ours had the membership, I guess it was last season, and we went along with them to Liquid Hero, the month Liquid Hero was up, and we went with them to Wacker. And we just made it part of our night, double date night, and we included that brewery in part of the stop. And honestly, I love the breweries in York, but I haven't been to York in a while, so it was nice to go back to Liquid Hero and check out the spot again and see what was new with them. And so, yeah, it's not just the members themselves, but it trickles out to their friends and family and their other people with relationships.
Yeah.
So as a member, I was looking at the website earlier, and I noticed the membership, if I saw right, it's $60.
$60. Yep.
Cool. And now you get, so when you sign up, you get the 6-month membership, so essentially $10 a month. And right off the bat, you're going to get a coupon for whatever brewery's featured every month. And from there, that coupon entitles you to one standard growler fill. Now, they each price it differently, but I mean, you figure you go to some places, an average growler fill is like $10 to $15, so it's a no-brainer. And then you also get all the other added benefits. You get the growler. Now, you have the glass one. Now, is that glass one included in the membership?
No, it's not.
No, but it's only a couple dollars, though, right?
Yep. Yeah,
Okay.
So you can do just the membership for $60. You can add our standard 64-ounce growler that just has our logo on it for another $6. And then we also have pint glasses. If you like to collect pint glasses, you can add a pint glass. And then the fun thing that we do every season to change things up and also to involve on another local level, just different artists, is we do limited edition glassware. And so what we've done in the past is different growlers. What we find is that people will collect growlers to a certain point of sanity. And then
have you looked around?
Yes, we all look at stuff.
Present company excluded.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I was trying to say. But you can only collect so many growlers, but pint glasses are a lot more people collect pint glasses. So we wanted to try something new. And so this season, I had actually contacted the artist that did my tattoo and said, hey, would you be interested in designing something for some glassware? And the parameters that I give are, we want this to be you, so we want your art to be represented. So it's basically just a one color print on glassware. This is the kind of glassware that we're looking at. These are the dimensions, and you have free reign. Just make sure it says Lancaster CSB somewhere. And so we've gotten a lot of really neat things. So actually in front of me here would be like our last growler that we had designed, which is still available for sale on our website. We have a couple of those left. And then we have the pint glass coming up. Will be available as part of this season, and then we just change that out every season. So we've gotten to see some really neat and unique things that you typically don't see on like beer stuff, because it's just whatever the artist wants to put there. It's really neat.
I really like the T-shirt too.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
I was about to say you're wearing a T-shirt that has one of the.
T-shirt,
if I remember right, that was
the last year's,
Yep,
right?
that was the first one.
It was, the first artist growler. We liked it so much, we said let's put that on a T-shirt. So those T-shirts are still available on the website, and so that was a fun one. That was like, whatever you want. And so we got robots and dinosaurs and ninjas.
It's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
The robot eating a
Tacos.
taco.
Yeah.
Yep.
Ninja slash duck.
Yeah, that's right. The ninja in the middle, I thought for a little while was a duck. Then I realized that the ninja was upside down.
Oh, I see it now.
There's a lot going
That's a good
on there.
moment.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So that's cool, though.
It's a real MC Escher moment when you're looking at that thing.
So even outside of like getting the growler with the membership, if you want to do that, you can also just go to the website and buy merchandise, T-shirts.
Yeah, we have a
pint
couple of
glasses and
things
stuff.
there. Yeah, absolutely.
That's cool. That's really cool. So another great gift idea.
Yeah, sorry,
Great
I'm
gift
browsing
ideas.
the shop right now.
It's definitely a great gift idea. I don't know if we would know percentages of how many people, but like, how often are you thinking like, you don't know what to get someone, there's all this stuff and people accumulate. This is what I had numerous of my friends bought these for their husbands, and it's because it's like very unique, but they're going to love it. They're going to use it. It's a great gift idea in that sense, and then it gets people exposed to the local beer. So
yeah, and then on a personal level, it's also great for if you are into beer and you want to be a person that supports local beer, but you just like don't have the time to go. Like in my mind, and as I was thinking about this personally, and one of the reasons why I started it, so I always thought of myself as like a local beer person, but realized there were so many breweries that I had just never been to.
Oh, yeah.
And so I thought, oh well, there's probably a lot of other people like me. Let's do this, and it's a 6-month commitment, so it's not real long. But you're going to go to at least one local brewery every month, and maybe you're going to go to a lot of other ones or a lot of local beer spots as well. But at least you're going to be going directly to the brewery to support them there in that month, and the breweries love it as well. So it's like a win-win for everything.
Yeah, and even on the consumer end, $60 is a steal for this. And I'm in the same boat. I think, Joel, you said you were in it. You had the beers that were local, but you'd never been to the places until you were the member starting up. I'm the same way. I mean, Lancaster and York and everything's a little far out of my way being in Philly, and I've had beers from Whacker. I mean, I had Mad Chef, but wasn't there until we recorded in December with them. Mm-hmm. And it's just a way to make sure you get out and get something for it. Now, if somebody has that coupon that entitles them to that growler fill, is that only good for the month that brewery is featured? So, like, say if you have the coupon for month 1 and you don't use it and you realize, oh, crap, I didn't get out there, and it's month 2, it's gone?
Yeah, there's a little bit of a grace period there, but just so that the breweries can plan, because especially with local breweries, as we all know, they work on a much larger or much smaller scale, and so they're also planning for, hey, here's an influx of so many people that not only are going to come in and drink that typically maybe they wouldn't, but they're also going to leave with an extra 64 ounces of beer. They're trying to plan for that, so it helps them to know when that extra amount of people are going to come in. So it is, we have it lined up so that every month it's a different brewery. It also adds to the community feeling, because when you go in there during that month, and we average about 200 members per season, you're bound to see somebody else with another Lancaster CSB growler, and it's just a fun
Catch them across the room like, hey.
Yeah, it's just like
No, you don't.
It's as simple as like that little head nod of like, yeah, my wife got me this too. It's like,
Good conversation starter as well, make new friends, pull up a stool. Oh, hey, I see you're in the CSB. That's pretty cool. And I imagine it's also because a lot of the participating breweries are obviously going to advertise in the brewery about the CSB or have your glassware, you know, lying around, and people will see that and what's that? And then they find out, and then maybe that's the only brewery they've been going to. They go there like every weekend, and they've never ventured out, and then a good reason to broaden their horizons.
yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
So when does the next membership start?
So we just went through a little bit of a transition. So when we originally started, we were doing a fall and winter combination and then a spring and summer. So we've shifted it a little bit to line up just with the calendar year. So the upcoming season kicks off in July and goes through December. And then we'll go again, it would be January through June.
Perfect. So Father's Day, Christmas, right?
Oh, it's like I thought of that. Yeah,
look at it.
she knows.
Wow.
I mean, and I will.
And that one's free.
This is the thing that I get my father-in-law every Christmas, so it's
you
worked
go.
out for me. Yeah,
That's pretty awesome.
That's fantastic.
So now I know. So new season coming up, and some of the beers we have are from those breweries. But just to get a feeling for some that we're in. So if I saw on the website right, this membership that's currently going was Whacker, Mad Chef, Snitz Creek, Moo Duck, and then Joe Boys and Funk. Right.
that's right. Yeah.
Cool.
So right now, as we record this, we are in May, and Joe Boys is our featured brewery in Lidditz, and then next month will be Funk's E-Town location. Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, and Joe Boys has good stuff. We wound up there once after a recording somewhere. I think that was the only time I had been there, and was surprised that it had taken me that long. So again, if you have this membership, go out and take advantage of it.
But then you can check out the other places in the area. Like
Right.
Bull's Head is literally right across the street from Joe Boys. So I'm sure this helps other local businesses near these breweries as well. That, hey, I'm here at Joe Boys. Let's go to Bull's Head, and let's go to, there's an Appalachian Brewing right there, and there's the Chocolate Cafe. You're not going to go to the brewery and go home. At least I hope not. So
Yeah.
I think it'll help other local businesses as well.
Yeah, that's a good thought. I hadn't really thought of it that way.
Well, I mean, and if you wanted to just grab beer and go home, you'd go to a beer distributor.
True.
If you're going to sign up
Yeah.
for this, you want to go
If
out, you
you're-
want to
you're gonna
experience
go out
the
and
brewery.
do the event.
Experience the brewery.
Yeah, make an
Absolutely.
event
There.
out of it. Now, do you plan on expanding to other markets? Is that way out of range right now, or do you want to keep it close knit?
That's a tough question to answer,
Okay.
because whereas it seems like it would be something that would be fairly easy to replicate other places, and that's been on the horizon for a long time. We just want to make sure that as something that's pretty brand new in terms of we haven't been able to find a model for this anywhere else, that we kind of work out all the kinks and make sure that everything is running pretty smoothly, even in terms of finding the balance between like good for the brewery, good for the member in terms of how we set it up, how we're offering it. So we haven't looked into expanding into any other area at this point, but you'd be the first to know.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. It's been recorded. It's
You heard
official.
it here first,
Yeah.
or you will hear
yeah.
it.
I mean, it is something that people want, because
Yeah,
when
it
we
is, yeah.
when we will work a stand at like a beer fest or something, and people come from outside the area, so we're talking to people about it, and a big thing we get is, well, boy, this is awesome, but I live in Delaware. I'm just visiting,
Yep.
Yeah.
But what
A lot of
everyone
people
says,
from Delaware come
there
to
are.
Beer Fest in Lancaster.
I chose them on purpose. There is a lot of Delaware. I'm not sure. Not enough's going on in Delaware that they're coming to the beer fest. I don't know, but people are always like, man, I wish we had that in our area. I wish there was something like that going on. And so there's everyone that hears it likes the idea, but yeah, it's just finding the right, someone to pick it up and run with it.
Yeah, I would love to see something like this in Philly. I mean, there's a lot that are down there. Not that I'm, dropping any hints or anything.
Yeah.
But no, it'd be cool. But I'd imagine one of the big things you have to tackle is, would the same price apply?
Right.
Would the
There's a
breweries
lot
be
of
in for the
questions.
same,
Yeah.
incentives
Yeah.
for them? While they will get people in the door, they already get people in the door in a bigger market like that. So there's a lot of variables that would come into play. But if you were able to do it in Philly and it's $60, you better believe I will be member number one.
Well, it is like the price question is very interesting. We chose $60 when we first started because it was pretty close to the cost of the growlers at each spot. But prices go up and different breweries are added in. If you add up the cost of all the separate growlers for this upcoming season that we're still selling for $60, it's $84 worth of growlers. So it's,
you're already making out on it.
Right. And so it really depends on the market and what breweries are involved. It's really interesting, and it's kind of been neat for us to grow with the breweries as well, to see them add different beers and change prices and go back and forth that way and see what we need to do. We're trying to keep it at that $60 point as well, but we just never know what's going to happen with next season, because it's a changing market, and when you work with small companies, the margins change pretty quickly.
Yeah.
So.
Well, the nice thing is that it seems like a very adaptable model that you could put it in another market and tweak a couple things here and there, and I think it would be popular no matter where you do it. Honestly, I think it's a great idea.
As long as there's enough breweries in that area.
Exactly.
Yeah. At this point,
not
with
the same 6 all the time.
Yeah, at this point with 4,100 operating in the country, I mean, you go somewhere, you're going to have a dozen within a stone's throw, basically, which is cool. How wide of a reach do you get? So are you strictly Lancaster? Do you do like Harrisburg?
In terms of breweries or members?
Well, let's go with both. Let's start with breweries.
Oh, wow.
This is a 2-part question.
Well, I know the answer to the first one. You're also in York County.
That's right.
I know
So
Liquid Hero was part of one.
We've even just hearing from our members, like what breweries, they'll always say, hey, have you talked to these people? We want to see Liquid Hero was a good one, where Liquid Hero has been a great local brewery. And so we reached out to them for our past season to see, hey, would you be interested? And in my mind, if I live in the middle of Lancaster County, and if it takes me about the same time to drive to, for example, like Stouts, which was one of our breweries in our first season, it takes me about 30, 40 minutes to get there. They're in Lancaster. If I want to go to York, to Liquid Hero, it's going to take me about 30 or 40 minutes to get there. So for me, it's just like mentally drive time from the middle of Lancaster. Not everybody lives in the middle of Lancaster, and a lot of people have longer drive times that they are comfortable with. And that's like the consumer's choice there. But so we're not opposed to having people outside of Lancaster because there are a lot of great breweries just surrounding Lancaster. But the feedback that we've heard from our customers is like they need to be open. Like especially if they're a longer drive, they need to be open more than 2 nights a week and that kind of stuff. So it's been an interesting, like I said, finding that balance over the last couple of years. But absolutely. If they're nearby, Snitz Creek is also another one that's in Lebanon. They're just on the other side of the border, and they make a lot of great beer and some really great food. So that was like, let's definitely get them signed up.
Cheese, grilled cheese.
Oh, didn't they have a burger that had
the Lebanon bologna burger?
Was it Lebanon bologna that was on it?
They had all kinds of delicious
amazing.
food.
Yeah.
Some of it had pretzels, and some of it had bologna, and it was all
great.
Well, their beer's that way too. Like,
True.
I was just going to say, I was so glad we got to try that, because that was the happy accident that can never happen again.
Yeah, exactly.
Hey, speaking of beer, I've got something in my notes here. Under the first sipping beer,
Where I spelled currants incorrectly. Did you catch that?
No, I didn't catch that. What I caught was Sip Slowly and Chocolate Truffle, Cabernet.
Oh yeah, I have this other sipping beer.
I don't know. I'm not sure what's going on, but I keep seeing these words in front of me, and I'm intrigued.
So whereas I like to focus on local beer wherever I go, I happened to be in Santa Rosa, California, and went to a little place called Russian River. And they have
Never heard of them.
a couple of nice things on tap. Their samplers are like 30 beers in a sampler.
Yeah. I've done it twice.
It was in one sitting?
No. 2 different trips.
It was very impressive. But I got so I brought back a couple of things and packed them.
Ooh, nice.
I should have done that closer to the microphone. I'm sorry.
Dan can put it in post. It's been done enough times. We've got it recorded.
So
Greg Worth is the best.
In front of me, their Consecration, which is sour dark ale aged in Cabernet Sauvignon barrels from local wineries.
Whoa!
So it's been aged. I'm just reading their tasting notes here. It's been aged 4 to 8 months with black currants.
As in like ocean currents? I just saw it.
Now I saw it. Yeah. Brett, lacto, Petio added to each barrel. Rich flavors of chocolate truffle, spice, tobacco, currants, spelled correctly, and a bit of Cabernet. Very full-bodied. Sip slowly.
Slowly.
I'll pass this around here. Let me do the thing that everybody else is doing.
Yeah.
I've got a
And while that's making its rounds around the table, I did have another question. Do you see any of the participating breweries do like collaboration beers, or do you think that'd be something they would do just for members only?
We've talked about
if
that.
Not, you're
That
welcome
would
for the
be
marketing
awesome.
idea.
Yeah, we've talked about that with different brewers. If you remember Brad from brewery that won't be named, Brad Moyer.
Yep. We know Brad.
Yeah,
from
so
there,
that's one of the things that and we've talked with a lot of different breweries about having different events and Firkins and doing that kind of stuff specific for members, and even doing special events for members at the brewery with other people like Greg Orth and that kind of stuff. So we have lots of ideas that we've talked about, but just with life being what it is, none of those have yet come to fruition.
Okay.
But yeah, we're trying to get some really more specific brewery events for our members. Yeah.
Okay, because I think that'd be really cool. And if it's only for members, it'd be a nice little
Yeah.
what's the word I'm looking for? Exclusive benefit.
Rare.
Yes, nice and rare.
Now, Dan, you
Yes.
asked a question earlier, but Andrew never got a chance to finish it because chocolate truffle and words were coming out of his mouth.
I'm sorry.
But I'm really interested. We talked about the breweries outside of Lancaster. How is the customer base outside of Lancaster? Are most of the members from Lancaster County, or
Yeah, I would say about 90%, but there are a number that will be from like Harrisburg or York or like Quarryville area. It's just not quite in Lancaster, and yet they're still making the trips to all the Lancaster breweries because it's worth it. And once a month is not something that is like extensive, especially when you're doing it as a special event. And if you can do something special for yourself once a month, that's like a good life balance habit. So do it.
yes,
I'm creating.
Do something special for yourself once a month. Think three positive thoughts
Yes.
every day.
You are helping
Write
with
2 of them
work-life
down.
balance and integration. I love it. This beer smells amazing.
Oh, it's delicious.
Consecration. I haven't tried it yet. I'm waiting for the reaction on your face, Andrew, just to see.
Yeah, this is a really good beer, and I was curious about drinking it tonight as well because when I had it in California, it was the last beer on the sampler, and so it was one of those like I'm remembering this as a really good beer, but I'm also not
29
remembering too much of that morning. So yeah, it's fun. This is a good beer.
It is really good.
you can't go wrong with Russian.
I wouldn't expect this flavor after looking at the color of it.
And did you see the ABV?
No,
Yeah,
I'm
it's
afraid
10.
to. Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Sip
slowly.
Yep.
Yeah, that's why I didn't.
That's why I
pour
made sure we
quite
had
as
2
much.
glasses in front of us.
Yeah.
Oh, there's my other one.
Yeah, this is one. This is one we could probably sit aside and just kind of come back to and sip on.
Let it warm up a little bit.
But we should really get into talking about the beers that are in the.
I agree.
CSB.
I agree. So shall we?
I just wanted to try this.
Yeah, no, it's a good one. Thank you for bringing it up, but I feel like it's time for this.
Beer me! Beer me! Beer me! Beer me!
All right. So which of the plethora of beers in front of us will
Well,
we try first?
First, I think we have to explain
Are we gonna explain?
what we're going to do here.
What are we doing?
Andrew had a really neat idea with how we're going to progress through these beers.
Real quick, I think plethora is becoming Dan's new excited.
Shush! Myriad.
Just putting it out there.
Just put it out there.
Continue.
So, Andrew, do you want to explain sort of the
Yeah.
path we're about to
Absolutely.
travel on?
So our membership, as we've said a little bit, is a 6-month membership, and in those 6 months, you can go and try all sorts of different beers at the different breweries. And I thought it'd be fun to condense that down into a single episode. So we have beers from each of the breweries in our upcoming season. So I thought we could start with July, and our July brewery is Columbia Kettle Works in Columbia, Pennsylvania.
So just to clarify, we're taking 6 months of drinking and condensing it into one night.
That's our specialty.
That's how
there
we
you go.
go.
But it's not just one night. It's one podcast.
That's right. Wait,
So-
is that longer or shorter?
Well, I mean, in reality, it's the same.
So what's the cutoff for July? Like if someone would want to go on Friday, August 5th to use their Columbia Kettle Works coupon, Or is that a no?
Is that a little too late?
That depends probably on the person serving beer.
Does it depend on whether there'll be a podcast happening there that night?
There may or may not
There
be
might
a
be a
live
podcast
recording
there
of a
that night.
podcast at
I see
Columbia
what you're
Colorworks
saying.
on
Well,
Friday,
pass it
August
this
5th.
way.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
So
It
I'm
was
pass-
originally going to be in July, actually, but I had to reschedule it because we have a wedding to go to.
Weddings, man.
Stupid weddings.
People getting married.
I know.
Well,
man.
and Rich is the best man.
It's for the
so
well, all right.
it's not like we can.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, but is he in the wedding?
Good God, that was
Wow.
bad. That was really bad, Wayne. You should be ashamed.
Was that a joke? Or was that...
Yes.
So what we're drinking
Yes.
is from Columbia Kettle Works, and it is their double bald guy. So I picked this off the tap list earlier today because I don't think I've had this one before. I've had their bald guy ale a number of times, and it's probably one of my favorite things on their tap list. What I like about, if you've been down to the brewery, you'll inevitably see either Rod or Bill either making beer or chatting with customers or serving beer, and they're both bald, so the name is apt. At least I think that's where it
I'm
comes
just
from.
now getting it. All right.
But they just celebrated 3 years in business.
Hey!
So yeah, they're doing great stuff down there, and recently, within I think the last 12 months or so, added a new brewer, and it's a really neat spot. And they have some like food options in addition to their great beers. Their website's really well done too, if you just want to get some information about them there. But yeah, we'll be featuring them in July.
I like this beer.
I like this beer.
To put it simply, I like the beer. No, it's good. It's
It is very good.
It's got a nice. It's malty, but it's not like sweet malty.
No,
Malty.
the
Malty.
earthy spiciness of the rye is so
Yeah.
pleasant.
Yeah, that's in there. So this is a 9.4%, 65 IBUs, and the way they describe it on their chalkboard, which I jotted down, was dark ale, earthy hops, mild rice, mild rye spice.
The spice is very nice, and it is mild, and it is rye.
I was going to ask about the IBUs to see if it was listed because I liked that there was a hoppy ending to it, but it didn't like stick there. It wasn't. Oh, don't give me that. I see you trying to fight that. There was a hop bitterness
here we go.
in the back end that didn't.
It starts out nice and malty, and it does sort of
It
finish with
finishes-
a nice crisp hop bitterness with some earthiness all the way through.
But it doesn't like punch you with hoppiness.
Yeah,
it's
that's
not
right.
a punchy hoppy ending.
Yeah, it's very well balanced, 65 IBUs. So that's pretty standard for like IPA is right in the 60s, right? So to think about something that you're just calling a dark ale to have that much hop, you would think that it would be a little bit more bitter, but it's not.
So, Columbia Kettle Works is the July featured brewery for Lancaster CSB, which we have mentioned, though we're not sure how much of the past 10 minutes is going to be edited, so we're just going to say it again just to be
Yeah,
safe.
why not?
Yeah.
So, why don't we talk a little bit about why Columbia Kettle Works is
Ooh,
a
good
good brewery to be
question.
involved in the...
Yeah, absolutely. I think one of the reasons is just because when I was first forming the first season, that was one of the breweries on my short list, and there was like some little Lancaster vote of best breweries in the area, and they got second or third, I forget. But I knew that's one of those places that is serving a lot of great beer that I hadn't been to yet, and that just immediately said, okay, they should be in this brewery because it's so close. But I don't really go to Columbia for anything else. I don't do a lot of antiquing. I
No
don't.
ice cream.
Oh yeah, the Turkey Hill experience is there.
Yeah.
That's right. But also, I can get Turkey Hill ice cream a little bit closer. If I
But can
need
you
to.
make your own?
And you do not get the experience. That is an
What is this?
intangible.
Hey, Andrew,
Ice cream
what are you doing
busters.
tomorrow? You want to go to the Turkey Hill experience?
Yeah, let's do it.
Hey, sold me on it.
Dude, I would totally spin off into Ice Cream Busters. That would be awesome.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that'd be maybe more
That'd be dangerous. Yeah.
Yeah.
Turn into diabetes buster.
Diabetes.
Yes. But that's a very good point because Columbia Kettle Works is one of those breweries that I think, in this area in Pennsylvania, you hear the name, you see the beers around. It's it's fairly newish, but around, they've been around long enough that they've established a good reputation for themselves. But I've never been there. I mean, we'll be there coming up in August. But this is
been
a
there a
perfect
few
way
times.
to say, Columbia Kettle Works. I know that place. I've had their beer. I've never been here. Here's a reason to go there.
Yeah,
And
they're the perfect brewery for the CSB because the ones that are centralized, in the Lancaster City and immediate area, you go in there just because it's right in your area. But these, like whether it's Ephrata or Columbia, but just a little outside the hub of Lancaster, that's really where I think it benefits them to be in the CSB too, because it does get people exactly what you're saying. You're like, yeah, I've had their stuff, but you just, as much as you want to do it, you just don't make the trip out to go and visit. Once you're in the CSB, you say, oh, I got to fill my growler, and then you check it out, and then it's, kismet.
And what's nice about Columbia Kettle Works is they have local wine also.
Yeah.
So if you have someone in your relationship or party that drinks wine, there's also food. They have snacks, popcorn, pickles, pretzels.
Their
that
pickles
I believe,
are really good. And then
they have those habanero pickles.
Oh
that are-
yeah, and the Dirty Blonde. Have you had their?
I don't know if I've had these.
They what do you call it? Muddle. One of their jalapeno or habanero pickles,
like a mojito. Yeah.
And then they do their blonde ale on top of it. That tastes good, everybody.
That sounds amazing.
Try that.
It's in there.
You can't get a growler of it, but yeah, it's still really good. And then their mustard they don't sell it because it's just a mix of other mustards, but they mix them very well, and it's.
So they take just a bunch of other commercially made mustards. And
That's what I was told. Yeah, because I was like, "Oh man, this mustard's so good. Can we buy some?" And this was the first time we were there, which was about not quite a year into their opening, and they were like, "No." Because it's just Grey Poupon, and it was literally other mustards,
2-part French,
and some other things combined. But it was very
those
good.
are the only two mustards I could name. It's Heinz makes mustard, right?
Yes.
Heinz.
French's. Golds?
Golds.
Yeah.
My favorite thing is to go to a store and find mustards that I haven't tried before.
Nice. That is one of life's little pleasures.
I think he might be serious, actually.
No, well, I mean, yeah.
That's okay.
A man of many mustards.
A man of many mustards.
But what's great is a lot of these snacks that are available, the popcorn, the pickles, the pretzels, the potato chips, their beef jerky, they even have bacon skewers. I can't talk. I thought that would get something from Dan, but apparently not. But it's all...
Oh, there's a facial reaction.
I was looking up mustard brands just to see. And then you said it, and a second later it was like, she said bacon.
But they're all from local companies.
That's
so you're
cool.
supporting a local brewery who's also supporting local companies. And they have meat and cheese trays that you can choose. They have a Jumpin' Jack jalapeno, by the way, which I really want to try. And then they have sandwiches. Lots of paninis and such. So... And I believe they're still working on building another room downstairs, some sort of speakeasy kind of basement
Like
room.
a secret underground bar.
Yeah, I think that's coming soon too in the future. So
That's cool.
That
they're
is
expanding.
news to me.
Yeah,
There you go.
That is
great.
awesome.
You heard it here first.
That's right.
I heard it before everybody else.
Yep, your ears are faster apparently.
Your ears are faster. You've got some really fast ears. I'm impressed.
So this was the first month. Who is the second month?
On to August.
Yeah, August is one of my favorite months, and it is for our season St. Boniface.
Woo!
So St. Boniface, and what I brought along tonight is their offering 25 in IPL, which is quite tasty. Start passing it around.
Now this one is in a clear growler,
Yeah.
which is cool. Did you
Well,
already pour some?
the first two were in
Oh,
clear
you're still working on it.
growlers.
Okay.
It's still pretty cool, though. Wouldn't you agree?
Oh yeah. Sorry, I was just trying to fill space, and I didn't even occur
Oh
to
my
me.
god!
Sorry.
What is happening?
I don't know.
When is Bonifest?
June
4th.
Wow.
And I have my
So,
tickets upstairs.
When this
Tomorrow.
goes live
Yeah.
tomorrow.
So the St. Boniface IPL is 6.3% ABV, 65 IBU, so the same as our previous beer, but it comes out very differently in the lighter style. And I've kind of been on a little bit of an IPL track recently where when I see them, I kind of say, yeah, that's the thing that I want to drink tonight. So when I was when I was choosing a beer today to bring, and I saw they had their IPL on, I said, yeah, that is the thing I want to drink tonight.
Good choice. Good choice.
Oh, the aroma!
The
my
aroma's
God.
amazing. It is.
I'm trying to think if I've had this there.
I've not had
I
this.
don't know why I'm looking at you as though you would know everything I've had there, but
It's so good. John is such a great brewer. He's so good at lagering stuff. I know they'll hate me for saying this, but he should just lager everything.
Yeah, okay.
I mean, all of his beers are good, though.
Yeah,
but
definitely.
Oh,
this is delicious.
But that hop profile comes out super clean in the end. It's
yeah.
like lagers were meant to have lots and lots of hops in them.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, definitely.
It's so good.
Yeah, it doesn't overstay the welcome at all. This is
I was
amazing.
tempted to bring either this or they still have their black currant stout on.
How would you
You
spell
just
that?
want-
How's that spelled?
Hello. You just want to get us drunk tonight, don't you?
Well,
This
no.
one's only 6.3.
Yeah, but the black currant stout.
Right,
C-U-R-R-A-N-T.
He didn't bring that one.
And that's why I did not bring that one
Thank
because I
you.
thought, I've got some other high ABV things down the list here. So let's go with the whatever this is, the IPL. It's good.
Let's go with what this is. Let's go with what this is.
I'm happy they're part of the CSB because
I love St. Boniface.
They're
You can't not love St.
great
Boniface.
guys making phenomenal beer. I haven't had a single thing from them I don't like.
Yeah, and they are like that's the cans of stuff that I always have in my fridge is St. Boniface, whether it's libation
Or Paideia, right?
Or
That's the other
Paideia.
one.
Yeah, mostly Paideia, because that is just such a everyday beer.
Yeah.
And every time you drink it, I think this is such a good beer.
Oh, yeah.
And I can't believe I'm getting this for $10 a six pack. Or
You'll never get sick of it either. That's
Yeah.
the thing.
Yeah.
And I mean, whenever we have Dane on, I always have to make fun of how drunk they got me and point back to it. But it's because they have such great beers and they're such great guys to drink with.
Yeah.
Yeah, we
true.
had an epic after party when we recorded a podcast.
It's the only
there in
time
the
I've ever
brewery.
pushed bacon away
And
from my
that was-
face.
And that's something you talked about.
wow, that is a new level of drunk. I've not heard of this level of drunk.
Yeah, and he let his then girlfriend drive his car that night.
That's-
knew
Well,
he
I
was-
had no choice.
You knew he was drunk. But it's something you, Andrew, were talking about before we started recording was, when you go and buy beer at St. Boniface, you're buying it from Dane. You're
That's
buying,
right, yeah.
Right, yeah.
You're buying it from those guys. You're buying it from the people.
From Mike, from John,
From
yeah.
Mike,
Right.
from John.
Yeah, that's what's awesome about the local breweries because you're not just another person in line or somebody that you're getting annoyed with the server or bartender, but these are the people that are making the beer. Oftentimes, they're people that work a 40-hour-a-week job just like you. Like I think about Mike and Kristen from Moo Duck a lot.
Oh, yeah.
Like those guys make phenomenal beer, and yet they're still working full-time jobs and on their like homemade system. They're able to do a lot. And when I think about going to the local place, the closest brewery to me is Joe Boy's, which is a little bit further down our tasting list. But that's a place where, when I go there, I'm buying from Joe. I'm buying from Jeff. And that's what I love about supporting local breweries is it's not an unnamed entity. It's your neighbor.
But,
Well, and even at St. Boniface, as we finish up this beer in our glass, wow, by the way, that was amazing, that pour. But, like, when you go to the tap room, most likely either Dane or Mike or John, someone's going to be there. And when you go to, like, the anniversary bottle release, and when you go to Bonifest, those guys are there, and they're working, and their families are working, and we know them, and we know their wives, and, we know the people in the tap room. You get to know everyone, and that's what, the good beer brings you back. But honestly, it's those relationships that make you want to go back to. I went to the Firkin tapping of the beer St. Boniface did with Arugas and Hopheads, and Dane and Mike were there with the,
cool.
and Dane's wife was there, and it was so neat to just hang out with everyone. And, you feel like you're just hanging out with friends, and you have to remind yourself, I met them because I started going to their brewery and drinking their beer. And
People
now
are
we've
gonna-
built this relationship.
People are going to get tired of me saying this, but I'm just going to keep saying it. There's a level of camaraderie that comes with the craft beer community, and you won't get it anywhere else. And it's the only industry where you'll go out and you'll be friends with the person who made what you're consuming, and you'll get to know their family, and it's incredible. I love it.
yeah, just watching Steph pour the next beer.
Damn, this is heavy.
The growler or the beer?
Yeah.
Both. That is a pretty epic growler.
Yeah, and so we're pouring as we go around our September brewery, if I can get my months right. Yeah. So we are now pouring Black Forest Brewery, also in Ephrata, and this is their Shrek Tavern Stout. So this is a 5.5% and 33 IBU stout, really solid stout. And we're pouring it out of a
Really solid growler.
real big growler. And I'll just shout out these guys. This is from Beguile Brewing in Chicago. And this, I visited this spot when the CSB was not but a spark in my eye. And they run a similar CSB just for their own brewery. And they have these really awesome tall growlers. And so I was inspired in a couple of different ways while I was out there. And that trip to Chicago is one of the things that helped spark this, because I was out there for a wedding. And my first step was for planning for this trip was, let me plan out all the different breweries I'm going to go to. And then when I had the realization that I had never done that for Lancaster, that's when I was like, oh, there should be something like that.
Categorize, yeah.
And then when I visited this particular brewery and was talking to these guys who make really good beer, if you're ever in Chicago, and saw the really cool growlers that they had, I thought, yeah, I'm going to do that, and I'm going to make growlers that look just like that. And that was our first premium growler was this style of tall 2-liter growler. So a little bit of a tangent.
It's cool.
But it's actually
shout out
about
to them.
beer.
Yeah.
It's a relevant tangent.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Those are the only kind of tangents we do on Did you hear that?
So how's this stout?
This beer is very good.
Yeah, it's good. It's ooh.
This is my go-to beer when I go to Black Forest. If I've had everything on the board, I'm like, I'm going for the stout. I really like this beer, and it goes well with the food that they offer there, which is really tasty, and it's just an all-around good beer.
Yeah.
It's a really solid just stout. Like, it's not trying to be anything else. It's just, I am a very good stout.
That is exactly
I'm
what I was
not a
going to say.
vanilla bourbon barrel-aged stout.
Yeah.
I'm
Which
not
there's
a
nothing wrong with
coffee
those,
stout. No, I
but
love all that
it all
stuff.
starts with something as true to the
But
style
a nice,
as this.
rich yet easy drinking, just not so much smoky, a little on the sweeter side, but just a really great, delicious stout.
That's a little bit of the story there too. They don't do a ton of like over the top with different flavorings, but they do pretty well with the styles. And what's neat about Black Forest is that they're attached to bed and breakfast. So if you want to do a little staycation as part of the area there, you can go ahead and stay at that bed and breakfast right in the heart of Ephrata. And there is a brewery attached to your bed and breakfast. I think that's pretty killer.
Another fun fact, Black Forest, this is the first time that they are joining the CSB.
That's right.
Awesome.
Yeah,
That's
absolutely.
fantastic. And Bob and Denise are awesome people. Again, I think they're always there when I'm there. And Denise is so bubbly and so pleasant. And she's another one of those people that every time you walk in, she's going to walk over to the table and talk to you and ask how things are going. And just a really great couple and a really neat business. A very intimate spot. It's very small. And cozy, and again, they offer food as well, which is really tasty.
I like their soups there. They do some really nice soups.
I've never had their soup. And they're always doing fun things, like they did the drink and paint kind of thing on Valentine's weekend. They did a chocolate and beer pairing. The chocolates, so good. One of them was spicy, so of course
You're all about
really
that.
excited about that.
I
But
was looking for a spicy beer when I was getting beer, but I didn't.
They all do them on small batches just for Steph.
Brewery at Hershey's not on your list right now, but Dilutus, we had the passion fruit and charred habanero
That was
beer.
delicious.
That was phenomenal and beautiful. This gorgeous, like, purplish fuchsia color.
It poured as a purple, like she said, purple and fuchsia, and it was really good. And you got the smokiness out of the aroma of it, and then the spice hit you in the back. But it wasn't overly spicy. It was there, and then it was gone.
Very well done.
It's very good beer.
Well, considering that memberships are 6 months and we're 3 months in, I feel like we should take a slight break. Also, my liver needs to recover, but I feel like we should have a little bit of fun while we're recuperating. So, Wayne, what do we got?
I already forgot. Hail and well met interwebs, and welcome to Happy Fun Time Games, the podcast trivia segment that bombs at the box office domestically but recoups its losses with international ticket sales and merchandising. Today, we return to the continuation of the beer education of the Beer Busters Nation, that is Libation or Fabrication Movie Edition.
Oh,
yes.
Wait a minute. What?
This is the movie edition.
I know, but what makes it the movie edition?
All the beers in today's game, whether they are
All
real
the beers.
or fake, are inspired by films.
I had an idea for a game like this that I've never told you about.
Well,
I have it written in my red notebook. I can show you.
I got there first.
You did.
I got there
You
first.
heard it first.
Yes. And I introduced it impeccably. Let's not forget. We will begin, as always, to my left with Dan. Tell me, is this a real beer or did I make it up in my mind? This beer is called Marty McFly PA. Is that real or fake?
It's got to be.
Come on. I have to say fake because I feel like somebody would get sued to oblivion over that.
Okay. Steph.
You need to say it again, just because Rich didn't hear it.
Marty McFly PA.
I knew he would enjoy that. I'm gonna say real. I think it's real.
All right, Steph saying it's really real. Joel, what do you think?
Yeah, I'm going to say real.
Joel also saying real. And finally, Andrew.
You know, I've been to the future, and I have seen this beer.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's real.
But does it exist now? That's really the important question.
Yeah, I'm going to say real.
You're going to say real. All right. Everybody except Dan is correct.
Oh, I hate it.
Because it is real. Now, first, I would just like to take a moment of silence to reflect on the fact that the entire plot of the Back to the Future trilogy now takes place in the past.
I know.
Yeah.
And we still
All
don't
right.
have hoverboards. Like real
we
hoverboards.
do.
Real
Hoverboards.
hoverboards.
Was it that makes them Lexus?
Ones that actually... Oh, that okay. I thought you were going to say like the two-wheel shits. I hate those.
Oh, those are
Oh,
so
no,
annoying.
No, the ones that explode when you're on them.
They're like
Yeah.
Segways, but do
But yeah,
share.
that Lexus one can only be over a certain platform.
That's right.
It uses a superconductor,
Yes.
right?
And therefore does not work on water.
But about
No,
just about
because it does
everything
not
else
have power.
exists.
I don't.
Right? Just
I don't
about.
think the hoverboard in Back to the Future worked on water either. Did it?
No,
Oh,
Biff's
there you
did because he had
You
power.
have power.
He had
Yeah,
power,
yeah,
which
yeah.
meant like rocket engines on the back.
Yes.
I was very nervous during that scene, I must say.
I was just freaked out
well,
when
you should have been.
the shark from Jaws 40 came out.
Okay,
yeah.
yeah,
Yep.
yeah. Wow. You know, there was a Kickstarter to make all the remaining Jaws's movies up to get
that.
up to that.
I would have funded that.
Kickstarter.
Yeah, and they were like 2 to 5 minute internet videos that people made. Just call them Jaws 7, 8, 9, whatever. So anyway, Marty McFly PA.
Is that what happening with Rocky right now? Is that
Yes, it's a similar idea. Marty McFly PA is an IPA from Against the Grain Brewery
Oh.
in Louisville, Kentucky.
Hey, all right.
They're on this game a lot.
Because they have really cool beer names. A beer that they think would, quote, knock the socks off old Marty if he landed in Louisville today. Though at only 5.8% ABV, it is not particularly heavy.
Heyo.
All right, moving over to Steph for our second beer of the game. And
it a
this
joke?
beer is called Ted Theodore Lager. Is that real or fake?
Wow.
I think Dan might have been the only one who got it.
I don't get it.
I don't understand the reference.
The movie where they
we got a
traveled in the
phone a
phone
friend.
booth?
Yeah, is it Bill and Ted's?
Oh, Bill and Ted's
there you
Excellent
go.
Adventure.
I thought, but I didn't want to go out on that limb if it was wrong. I wasn't volunteering that information.
Thank you to our audience.
Yep.
Real.
All right, Steph is saying that is real. All right, Joel, now that you know where it comes from.
Yeah, Ted. Yeah, I'll say that's real.
All right, saying that's real. Andrew, what do you think?
I think it's obscure enough that some like hipster brewer would be like, "Yeah, let's do this Ted Theodore thing."
All right.
Although, would it be a lager? Yeah, I'll say real.
All right.
Well, they are slow, so.
Hey, there you go.
They are much slower than Andrew's ears. And finally, Dan.
I'm gonna say fake only because you and I watched it 2 weeks ago and it's fresh in your mind.
Damn it!
You are correct, sir.
Oh.
You are correct, sir.
I veto you two living together.
Yeah,
This is
Dan's
not
better
fair.
at this game since now we live together.
Fair. Boo hits.
It is not a real beer. Amazingly, I gotta say, I really, really thought that Google was gonna piss all over my Cheerios when I thought of this name because
It's brilliant.
every time I come up with I think is an awesome beer name, I Google it just to be sure, and it's usually somebody already did it, but it's not.
What's next? Station IPA?
No, but I think what should be next, Beer S. Preston Esquire and Wild Stallions Wild Ale.
Why not?
It's a perfect
Why
trilogy.
not?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Let's get on it. Moving on to Joel, who is going to guess next on the next beer, and this is Zed's Dead Flanders Red. Is that real or fake?
I'm going to stick with my real again.
All right, sticking with real. Andrew?
Yeah, I'll go real.
Going real as well? Okay.
I regret my decision already.
Only because Andrew agreed with you?
No, I don't know.
Dan?
I'm going to say real because I don't get it.
You don't get it? You don't know what movie that's from?
I don't think I know.
That's why I said real. So.
Wait,
All right.
say it again.
Zed's Dead Flanders Red.
What is that from?
I'll say real.
Steph is saying real. Everybody's saying real. Everybody's wrong.
I knew it. All right.
Zed's dead, baby. Zed's dead. And not a beer. Anyone?
No.
Anyone? Pulp Fiction?
Never saw it.
Zed's Dead Pale Ale.
But not a Flanders Red.
Not Zed's Dead Flanders Red.
Zed's Dead Chili Beer. Ooh.
Do you want to know why I regretted my decision?
Why is
Because Flanders Red is not a style that the kind of person brewing it would try to do something stupid like that. And as soon as I said it, I thought
He's thinking
they
with
would
his
thought
brain
of-
parts.
I thought
Very
of
good
Naked
strategy.
with their Flanders.
Stupid Naked Flanders.
Stupid Naked Flanders. That's what I thought of first.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I
Well-
don't think I ever saw Pulp Fiction.
None of that matters because
Oh,
I'm in
is that
charge
what it's
and you
from?
were all
Pulp
wrong.
Fiction.
It's from Pulp
Pulp's
Fiction.
Fiction. Oh my god.
Pulp's Fiction?
Zed's dead, baby.
Pulp
Zed's
Fiction.
dead.
Oh god.
Bruce Willis,
It's like
on the
a
motorcycle,
lifestyle
the Asian
movie.
chick.
I was thinking an orange juice.
I like your pot belly. Does Marcellus Wallace look like a bitch? Why are you trying to fuck him like one? Moving on to our fourth
Yes, please.
final beer.
Thank
of the
God.
game. And Andrew is going to guess first on this one. And the last beer is called Hazed and Infused.
Oh, that's real.
All right. Saying
Especially
that's
because the last two were fake.
I know, right? There's no way he can come up with 3 fake ones.
No,
in
Yeah,
one
you
game.
never know. You never know. Dan?
It's real.
Dan saying
It is real.
Real. Steph?
Real.
Real. And finally, Joel?
Yeah, real. Boulder Beer Company, I think.
Everybody's saying real, and you get a bonus point because it is Boulder Beer Company.
Whoa.
I knew,
Wow.
I knew that.
I bet you're all regretting not throwing that out there.
No, oh, man. Oh, whatever.
Did you know that?
I did. You know
Really?
why I know it? Because Acme sells it.
Yeah, that's,
All right, I
can
believe
picture
you.
where it's at. That's
Yeah.
why
I'll believe you, so in fairness, I'll give you a bonus
In
point.
fact, I'm pretty sure
as well.
the last Mix 6 I got from them had it in there.
Nice. I've never had it.
Because it's in a can.
In a can, 5%.
In a can.
American Pale Ale from Boulder Beer Company in, anyone? You guessed it, Boulder, Colorado.
Boulder, South Dakota.
So the brew is unfiltered, or hazed, and also dry hopped, or infused. You get it? Get it?
I get it now.
Yeah, you get it now? Yes. Hazed and infused. Whether the beer was inspired by the film or the song is up for debate, but for the purposes of thematic cohesion, we're going to assume that it was the movie.
the song.
I think that just cost you your bonus point.
Uh-oh. Because I think I know.
In fact, you know what? That did cost you your bonus point.
man.
Because by redacting your bonus point makes
We-
Dan our big winner.
have a winner.
Oh, my God.
With 3
But-
points. But it also makes a German sparkle party.
I like German sparkle party.
Go to patreon.com/beerbusters.
I'm so used to talking with background music now. I feel like I need to wait.
Oh, it's a little somber, isn't it?
It is. It is.
Just you wait.
The mood just kind of...
Because now, Steph.
Oh, boy, we have something.
No.
Oh, come on. Really?
No. Know your beers?
And Steph, what do we got?
So for this episode of Know Your Beers, I was inspired by Lancaster CSB, and I thought about why not experience some beer trails together? Some other conglomerates of breweries together that you can visit with or without a CSB. So a recent brew trail that was just added in Pennsylvania is the River Rat Brew Trail. It's in the Susquehanna River Valley. You can check them out at riverratbrewtrail.com. The breweries included are Berwick Brewing in Berwick, Marley's Brewing Company in Bloomsburg, Turkey Hill Brewing Company in Bloomsburg, Old Forge Brewing Company in Danville, Three Beards Brewing in Sunbury, Covered Bridge Brew House in Shamokin, Marzoni's Brick House Oven and Brewing Company in Selinsgrove, Rusty Rail Brewing Company in Mifflinburg, and Bull Run Tap House and Brewery in Lewisburg. Check out their website. It includes a trail map, event schedule, and a Which River Rat Are You quiz. And if you're interested, I'm a dreamy rat, apparently.
Dreamy rats. Wicka, wicka, wicka.
So, Steph, what about the Susquehanna Ale Trail?
So the next one is the Susquehanna Ale Trail, focused in central Pennsylvania. Check out yorkpa.org. It's under their things to do. Breweries include Aldous Brewing Company, Bailey's Homebrew and Wine Supply, Booby's Brewery, Center Square Brewing, Miscreation Brewing, Mudhook Brewing, Rumspringa Brewing, Something Wicked Brewing, St. Boniface Brewing, Swashbuckler, The Vineyard and Brewery at Hershey, Trogs Brewing, and Warehouse Gourmet Bistro and Brew Pub. Those breweries are all located in York, Hanover area, of course, with Ephrata and Hershey thrown in there as well. Their website includes a year-round passport map and guide, and if you have your passport stamped at each location that you visit once on your passport, and you complete it with 6 or more stamps, you send it in to the York County Convention and Visitors Bureau to collect a very special prize.
Do we know what the prize is?
Nope.
I guess that is what makes it special.
Moving on, the Hershey Harrisburg Craft Beer Country Beer Trail, central, of course, in Harrisburg in the Hershey area. HersheyHarrisburgBeer.com. The participating breweries include Owls of Hamden, Pizza Boy Brewing Company, Appalachian Brewing Company, Booby's Brewery, Lancaster Brewing Company, Market Cross Pub and Brewery, Millbach Brewing Company, St. Boniface Brewing Company, Stitz Creek Brewery, and the Brewery at Hershey. So kind of another take on the previous trail. Their website includes a customize your trip link, which I absolutely love. So you can click it and move it around and figure out which breweries you want to do when and in what order, as well as information about places to eat, lodging, transportation, other region attractions, and a downloadable brochure and a newsletter sign up. Moving on, the Lehigh Valley Ale Trail, of course, in Lehigh Valley, Pennsylvania. LehighValleyAleTrail.com includes both the Allentown and Bethlehem Brewworks, the Colony Meadery, County Seat Spirits, Hijinks Brewing Company, Social Still Micro Distillery and Kitchen, Two Rivers Brewing Company, Weyerbacher Brewing Company, Funk Brewing Company, Golden Avalanche Brewing, Saucony Creek Brewing Company. Wow, we've recorded at a lot of breweries. I'm reflecting upon these lists.
We have, yeah.
Their website includes a newsletter sign-up and links with information about bars and pubs and shops and lodging and events. All kinds of awesome things. Moving on the Central PA Tasting Trail. And when I say Central Trail now, we're talking more like State College Central PA area.
Oh.
Visit pennstate.org. It's under their EAT category, Central PA Tasting Trail.
We got to be clear. You're not saying to visit pennstate.org. Visit pennstate.org is the website.
Correct.
You're not telling people to visit the website of pennstate.org.
No. Correct. Thank you.
No problem.
Now, this is, again, a tasting trail. This includes distilleries, wineries, and breweries, those of which are Barrel 21 Distillery and Dining, Big Spring Spirits, Elk Creek Cafe and Ale Works, which is an amazing place to get Sunday brunch. I highly recommend it. Good Intent Cider, Happy Valley Brewing Company, Happy Valley Vineyard and Winery, Keewaydin Cider Mill, Mount Nittany Vineyard and Winery, Otto's Brew Pub, Robin Hood Brewing Company. They make a jalapeno lager, by the way. Seven Mountain Wine Cellars, Nittany Mountain Distillery. And their website includes a very helpful downloadable trail map. The newest ale trail, just added, which we featured a link on our website this week about, is the Lake Erie Ale Trail, of course, in Erie, Pennsylvania. LakeErieAleTrail.com. Breweries include Arundel Cellars and Brewing Company, Blue Canoe Brewery, the Brewery at Union Station, Erie Ale Works, Erie Brewing Company, 5 and 20 Spirits and Brewing, Lavery Brewing Company, Mill Creek Brewing Company, Sprague Farm and Brewworks, Timber Creek Tap and Table, Voodoo Brewing Company. Their website includes driving directions in a recommended order. Fantastic. I love it. You just click on one click and it's all there. Do it in this order and drive this way. Sign up for membership here. $25 for an enthusiast membership gets you a sweet growler, access to first crack at Lake Erie Ale Trail events and announcements, and you're supporting the local brewing company. $150 associate membership allows you to partner with organizations like bars or restaurants that will appreciate this level and provide recognition and exposure, whatever that means, and you're helping the local community. So there's other beer trails in Pennsylvania you can check out. Of course, the Philly area, there's so many. Try visitphilly.com, thetowndish.com, or beerbusterspodcast.com if you're looking for suggestions in that area.
Can I stop now?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, thanks.
Can I related tangent for a moment? So 3 years ago, according to Facebook, was when Rich and I visited Erie, and that was literally when Beer Busters became a thing, and we had started the social media. And I keep getting all these things saying about, remember how I used to do brewery reviews, but we didn't have a website? So they were literally Facebook posts that I would just type paragraphs right on Facebook and put pictures up, and that was my brewery reviews.
Man.
So I have been to a number of these Erie breweries, but if you go to our website, you wouldn't know because we didn't have a website then.
That's true.
So I don't know if I don't think people can search Facebook, but like I did
just have to go
a
back and write
review
more
on
articles.
Blue Canoe. I did brewery at Union Station. I did Erie Brewing Company, Lavery, which was like the first place that ever gave me free stuff because we were a media company. I was at Voodoo. They gave us some stuff. That was our first top shelf beer.
I was going to mention that too. The Apple Grand Met.
Yep.
Apple Brandy Grand Met.
Yeah.
That was
such a
so
good beer.
good memories.
Oh.
But anyway, I thought it'd be fun to talk about some of the neat little websites that put these breweries together, and there's some incentives if you go and try some of them. So it's a sort of like the beginnings of a CSB, I feel like.
Yeah.
The CSB takes it to a whole nother level, and we're very fortunate that we're close to that. But who knows? Perhaps these could be the future CSB areas.
Could be. Another website you can visit for that is LancasterCSB.com, and we still have half of our membership to finish.
Let's do it.
Beer me! Beer me! Beer me! Beer me!
Round 2, fight.
All right, October. October's making its way around the table. That's a weird sentence.
No,
is,
October's
but
the
it's
name of
not
the
a
stripper
weird
that we
beer.
hired.
Wow.
Okay.
God damn.
Sorry.
Well, what is October?
Snitch Creek Brewery out of Lebanon is our October brewery for the summer-fall season, and we wanted them to be part of it because they were part of it for the first time this past season, and we got such great feedback from both our customers, our members, and the owner, Patrick, himself. Said, yeah, sign us up again for sure. It is just right there over the line into the heart of Lebanon, and they make some really good beers. And as we were talking about earlier, their food is it's on point. They do a lot of great food and food specials too. So that's one of the neat things about that spot is that they literally have a different special every day. And what we have in front of us now is Snitch Creek. A lot of their beers are named after different fly fishing things. So I fly fished for like a season when I thought that was cool.
I really thought you were going to say like 10 years. You're just like, a season.
Yeah. Enough that I got like some birthday gifts that were all fly fishing things. And they haven't.
And that turned you away from it then at that point?
It's just a phase.
Everybody
goes through that awkward fly fishing phase. We've all been there.
You're only 27 once.
Yep.
Wow.
So I've been fly fishing enough to understand the references in their beer names, and that's the thing that I was trying to say. And this is one of their midge series, and a midge is a kind of fly, and so it's kind of like their one-offs, just like St. Boniface has their numbered offerings, and a lot of breweries do that. And this is a Belgian strong ale, and it is 8.4% ABV with 24 IBUs. But this beer is real nice. You can definitely pick up the dark character. Like it's got a little bit of roastiness on it right up front, but then just like any good Belgian, it's got that sweetness all throughout.
Yeah,
and keeps you sipping. 8.4% is something to definitely sip on. But definitely enjoying this.
Mm-hmm. It's a very, actually, I think it's very unique, its character. Like, I've never really, I can't compare it to anything I think I've had before. But yeah, it has an interesting, almost like dark fruit smokiness up front, and then it does kind of go into that Belgian, that candy sugar, clovey sweetness at the end. It's really interesting.
They blend together in a way I don't think I've ever experienced.
Yeah, absolutely. And one of the reasons why we like Snitch Creek is that they are... they're just right in the heart of downtown Lebanon, and they're super Lebanon. And what I mean by that
yes, they are.
is like when you go in there, one of their beers is they have their smokehouse beer, which is they actually smoke some of the malts in the I'm forgetting the name of the bologna.
They use seltzers.
Seltzers.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you meant Lebanon.
What's that name again?
It's Lebanon Bologna, yes. But Seltzers is a particular brand. They smoke the malt in the Seltzer smokehouse so that it's still vegan. There's no actual bologna in it. But when you take a sip of their Seltzer's smokehouse ale, it tastes like you're sipping on Lebanon bologna, however weird that sounds. And then they have like a pretzel ale as well.
Yeah, Shuey's pretzel wheat. All pretzel, no crunch.
That's a good tagline.
That's theirs. I'm reading it off their website. I'm not taking credit for it.
So they've been like they've become like a staple in the downtown of Lebanon, which needs some more staples. And not only do they have good beer, but they also have great food, and they're open for lunch most days of the week. So it's been a pretty cool spot to get involved with. And I met one of their beer reps just at the mall one day, saw him wearing a Snitch Creek sweatshirt and said hey to him because of that sweatshirt. And we exchanged business cards, and the more I got to know about Snitch Creek, and they were the first brewery that we had that was outside of Lancaster County, but I just loved everything that they were doing so much. I knew that they were going to be a staple for Lancaster CSB in the future.
Nice, and a really awesome brewery to go and visit.
Like, absolutely.
Yeah, definitely.
And they're expanding with the second location, the tap room, which is really awesome. Good for them. Their beers are at Hollywood Casino.
I was just going to say the casino. Yeah.
Hashtag Snitch Creek moment is the thing that they hashtag.
Yes, cool. With the pictures on the wall. And if you are, when you get your membership, obviously you're going to after this episode, check out snitchcreekbrewery.com because they have a lot of weekly features. So if you're like, what night of the week should I go? Like Tuesday, 15% off
every night,
all burgers, and they have trivia night. Wednesdays, 50% off appetizers.
I'm sorry, 15% off burgers and trivia on the same night?
Yes.
Oh my God.
I know.
Really?
Thursdays is when they do their new beer releases. So if you're like me and you want to try the newest thing that you haven't had, Thursday would be your night.
This beer was released on Thursday.
See, exactly. Friday they do their fish fry for those of you that are into fish that is fried. And then on Saturdays, they do $3 pints for the beer of the day.
That's pretty incredible.
Yeah.
The other thing that they do that's pretty neat is every month they do what they call a line breaker 5K, which line breaking as in fishing when you get that fish that's so big it breaks your line. Of course, but also in running,
he's so proud that he knows this stuff.
I know so much about fly fishing.
You'll never guess. Line breaking is when the fish breaks the line.
I really hope Patrick and Adam are listening right now.
I hope they are. Yeah, they'll never be part of the CSB again. But the other thing that it means in this case is that you're the first to cross the finish line. As Wayne just raised his hands in victory.
I mimed it just so everyone here could understand.
But what's really neat, so they do this every month, and it's $5 to enter the 5K. $5, all that money goes to, I think it's Rails to Trails in Lebanon. And then as part of that entry fee, not only do you get to run 3 miles, but you also get a beer. So it's like $5 beer, which that's a good price for a beer, and you're supporting a great cause in Lebanon. And they do this every month. So that's another really cool thing that they do. So
it's always the last Wednesday of every month.
That's right.
If you're interested.
Yep.
All right. They put out a lot of good stuff there. It's good to know. Good to know they are part of the CSB, and for anybody that's joining now for the next membership, they will get their October beer from them. That was a
nice sound.
That was a good sound. I wish I wasn't talking over that.
What we're drinking right now what we're pouring right now is Funk Brewing Company's Citrus IPA.
Can I just say how freaking amazing this beer is?
I haven't tried it yet.
Oh my God. I remember the first time I ever had this beer, and then I remember the first time I had it in a can. It is so good.
Is this the one they did in a firkin with vanilla beans when we were there, and they did like the orange creamsicle thing? Was that this?
That sounds amazing.
It was like a citrusy IPA, and this is the citrus IPA. So
let's say yes. Yeah.
Well, we're going to go ahead and say yes.
So Funk Brewing started.
No, that was their cream ale.
Oh, that makes more
that
sense.
makes more sense. Yeah.
All right, never mind.
They started in the Lehigh Valley and have now opened up a second location in Elizabethtown. So we were super excited when they announced that, and we got on that pretty quickly to get them to be part of the CSB, and they will actually be our June brewery for our current membership, and then again, as we said, in November for our upcoming membership. So lots of good stuff coming.
Which I believe is their 1 year anniversary.
Oh,
in
that's gonna be
I
a
think it's
great
their 1 year
time.
E-Town, since they opened up their brewery in E-Town, it's their 1 year anniversary.
It's been 1 year already.
Speaking of good
Well,
things
in
coming.
November it will be
In
1 year.
November, right.
Oh.
Which is almost 6 months away.
Yeah.
This beer is really, really good. What's the name
So
of this
good.
one?
This is their citrus IPA, and when I was there earlier today, so today I visited 6 different breweries collecting beers
Lucky you.
for the show. It was a fun time, just
And we
traveling
love
all
you
over
for it.
Lancaster. And it was really neat just to be able to be like, okay, where am I going to go next? How am I going to get there? And taking like back roads in between all these different breweries was a fun time, and especially because you go to these different breweries and you go in just like we've been saying about every place. You know the people when you go in. You're just like, hey, I'm just here to get a growler today, and then they'll make recommendations for you. When I was poured a couple of samples at Funk, the aroma on this one was like, yeah, that's it. Like I didn't even need to taste anything. I was like, yeah, that's the one that's gonna go in the growler. So this is definitely a winner, and I realized I hadn't gotten an IPA yet for the evening. So this is a great IPA.
It really, really is. It's nice and clear when you look at it. Nice and hoppy in the actual flavor of it.
It's very juicy.
Yeah, it's juicy. It's got the right kind of hop bitterness. The aroma kind of leads in. It starts you off with the bitterness, and then you take the sip of it, and it's like, well, there's the citrus, and then there's the bitterness, and then it's gone.
This IPA clocks in at 70 IBUs and 6.7% ABV. So it's right in there, like on the top of the line for just a single IPA, which explains just how full of flavor everything is. It's got that hop bitterness to it. Like there's not a huge malt presence, which just lets the hops lead.
Yep.
Leaves your teeth feeling a little bit gritty, which I love out of a good IPA. And I would love to know the hop bill on this one. But this is great, and just the coloring of it is super light in such a sense that you know that this is going to be a great hoppy beer.
I'm gonna guess there's some Amarillo in here.
Look at what's happening.
I know!
I was going to say, let's not make fools out of ourselves, but if you know what you're talking about, go for it.
I'm thinking Amarillo. I can pick that out, and I'm kind of impressed that I know that, and they're going to prove me wrong.
Citra?
I was assuming Citra. I don't get any Simcoe out of it, though, Wayne. I'm sorry.
Well, the thing is,
The hops are not listed on the website, so I cannot
so
prove
you cannot
right
say
or
whether
wrong.
we're complete idiots or not.
Should we reach out to Funk for comment?
Maybe it's secret.
Get Norm on the line.
It could be, yes. Feel free to correct us. Email info@beerbusterspodcast.com. I found that there are
Go ahead and
characters-
call into our live number.
1-800 Beer Busters.
Andrew Beer Busters.
Somebody might answer the phone, or somebody might say,
Hello.
"The number you
Stop calling me.
the number you have dialed."
Now that we had that awesome citrus IPA, we got to close out the half year. We got to close out the membership. What's December?
Yeah, so closing us out in December is, as I alluded to earlier, hopefully that does not get edited. I was talking about
while he's editing.
when we were
Attention, Dan. Sorry.
when we were talking about buying from your local person, and I mentioned walking down to Joe Boy's, which is close enough for me to walk to.
Yes.
So, all that being said, what we're drinking is Joe Boy's Porter. So this is one of the things on their regular beer list, and they call it Joe Boy's Porter. It's a dark ale, complex and flavorful roasty character with a dry finish. So we've got 6.5% ABV and 42 IBU. It's a great porter. It's they do a lot of really neat things at Joe Boy's in terms of beer. It's a beautiful spot in downtown Lidditz when you walk down or drive through the main street Street in Lidditz, which was recently voted the coolest small town in America.
Like 3 years ago, but yeah, it is
recent enough.
Recent.
Yeah.
And you'll notice that as you're driving down, there's this beautiful storefront that has these just conical fermenters lined up in the storefront, and that's what you see. And you just say, oh, that's a place I want to visit. And that's Joe Boy's. Then when you walk in, all you smell is the beautiful roasted pig. That, I mean, I was there just to fill a growler, and I almost ordered a rack of ribs because it was...
I almost left with a whole pig.
Their mac and cheese is phenomenal. I love
No.
their mac and
We're talking
cheese.
about pigs.
Ooh.
Mac and cheese.
The carnivores are talking.
And vegetarians, they will work with you. They created me
That's
my
true.
own
That's
meal
true.
of an entree size
That's
mac
awesome.
and cheese and salad.
That's pretty awesome.
And hush puppies. I
And
just
if
made
you're
my
that
own.
kind of-
their
my own
their
meal.
hush puppies
Their
are
hush puppies are
legit.
killer.
And if
Sounds
you're that
like a
kind
really
of
good meal.
vegetarian,
Yeah.
the fish tacos are very much on point.
That's a pescatarian.
Pescatarian, yes.
Come on
Yeah,
now.
well,
Come on,
whatever.
Andrew.
Whatever.
That's what he
Redacted.
meant by that kind.
Yeah.
It's true.
So, yeah, all their things are very delicious in terms of food, in terms of beer. I remember my first time sipping Joe Boy's was many, many years ago at the Mount Hope Brew Fest, and walking through, and it was Jeff that served the beer. It was their Mannheim Red, and that's when they were still in Mannheim, a space which they quickly outgrew, and I think they were brewing on like a 10-gallon system or something like that. They could never keep
It
up.
was a really cool spot, though.
Yeah, it was
a
really
neat
cool.
location.
But I just had a first sip of that, and I thought, wow, I got to get to this place. And then when I heard they were moving to Lidditz, and it was just like yep, you're definitely going to be part of our CSB, and they've been also enjoying being part of it. So it's been a good part there. They serve up a lot of great stuff, and it's a great place to bring a crowd to because they do really well with large groups.
Oh, yes. And I can testify to that. We had a group of, 12, 15 of us. It was a homebrew club trip, and we thought we had reservations at another location that I won't throw under the bus, that it fell through. And I quickly got on the phone. I'm like, where are we close to? We wanted to go to another brewery. So I called Joe Boy's, and I'm like, I have this many people. And they're like, come, we will do whatever we can to get you seated. And it was about a 15-minute drive. We stood in the foyer about 10 minutes. And now, granted, we were at 4 different tables. We were in the same area, but they had us seated, and they could not have been nicer. They were so accommodating, and it was one of the most pleasant experiences I've ever had at a brew pub. They are just amazing. Everybody raved about the food, really liked the beer, and I have not gone back to the other establishment since then, but Joe Boy's I have gone back
For
to a few
that and
times.
other reasons.
Yes.
Yeah, and I would attribute that to it's genuine Southern hospitality.
Yeah, oh, for sure.
That's where they're from, the South. They're from North Carolina, I believe, and that comes through in their food. And then the beer is really good beer that pairs well with all kinds of barbecue, and it's not. It's not easy living so close to.
Oh yeah, no, I would be if I lived where you did. I would be there all the time. I'd just eat there every night.
Who knows? Maybe I wouldn't be a vegetarian anymore if I lived in Lidditz.
You heard it here first.
Rich,
Rich is moving
Rich
them to
just
Joe
perked
Boy's.
up. We're moving.
They're moving to Lidditz.
So that takes us through 6 months of drinking in the past, let's just say,
Hour and a half,
let's
roughly.
say 45 minutes.
So you can tell the difference between real time and podcast time.
Yeah,
All right, there you go.
real time. It's 2.5 hours.
So,
Yeah.
but I'm still thirsty, so I brought 2 more beers.
Oh my
Hey-o.
God. Meanwhile,
Hey-o.
I'm gonna say for a second before you do that, I'm gonna take a sip of the consecration now that it's warmed up.
Oh, go for it.
Yeah, it's been sitting here for a while. I haven't finished it. Still good.
By the way, our patrons just got to see what I just wrote on the tablecloth.
I
If
haven't.
you
even-
want to see what Steph is writing on the tablecloth, you can go to patreon.com/beerbusters and sign up to be a patron.
The consecration
That's how
though
it
has
works.
warmed up very well, and
Yeah.
the sour notes come out a little more.
It is, yeah. It is a little funkier. It is
Yep.
a little more tart, a little more puckery.
Because there's Brett, there's Lacto. Oh, that was nice.
There's Brett, Lacto, and PDO. There's
And
the whole
that's nice.
All the caucuses.
all the caucuses. Hashtag all the caucuses.
Give me all the caucuses.
Well, no, because Brett is a Mises.
It can be a caucus
too.
Maybe
tonight.
we call it Brettelocaucus.
So
and the facilities.
anyway, so my thoughts when I was going through my fridge is like original Lancaster craft beer and today Lancaster craft beer. So the first beer I pulled out is the Cannibal, which Rich actually picked out because when I was interning at Iron Hill and I got the chance to be on the panel to choose the beers to send to GABF. How many years ago was that?
Probably 3.
I don't even know anymore. But Rich volunteered to be a steward that day, and they treated him really well, and we're so thankful for the stewards that volunteered. And one of the things he got to do was go in the Wilmington facility and just go and pick bottles. They're like, go, pick this many bottles, they're yours, thank you for coming. And this bottle of the Cannibal is one of the ones that he picked, and it's been sitting in my fridge, and I've kind of been waiting for a special time to open it. This is the 2005 GABF gold medal winning beer, 2006 World Beer Cup silver medal beer in the Belgian style golden ale category. It's complex. It has a dry sweetness, balanced bitterness, and spicy finish. It's an 8.5% brew. I thought it would be pretty awesome to go back to what we originally thought of when we thought of Lancaster craft beer. Iron Hill was kind of like the original craft brewery by drinking the Cannibal.
And Iron Hill now has a few locations.
A lot of locations.
Yeah. Right. And Lancaster
and
was...
Lancaster is not the original. I mean, Wilmington and then Westchester.
I wasn't sure which one was the original.
That's the original. But, when I think of my first taste of craft beer in Lancaster was Iron Hill Brewery.
Because you interned, or what did you do at Lancaster's Iron Hill? You did something?
I was a brewing intern there.
Awesome. And you also rolled kegs of root beer around, right?
I did. That was fun.
Yes. And you convinced them to put peppers in a beer, which is something that they refused to do before you were there.
They let me put peppers in a firkin.
You definitely
and now
left
they
your
do
mark.
that a lot.
And I am an Iron Hill Mug Club member still.
Sweet.
I have a 2011 Mug Club mug at home, and I got it from my old radio station because that was the year I had, let's just say, a surgery, and they walked up to me and said, "I feel bad for you. Have this mug."
Oh, I want a surgery.
I want a surgery.
I have a Mug Club back to 2012. I've been a member since 2013, but they had the 2012 mugs on the table for so long that one day one accidentally came home with me.
What is
this beer? Style golden ale.
Yeah.
It is. I like it a lot.
This is a gold medal beer right here.
Yeah, it is, and a silver medal beer.
And that's one of the things that I do like about Iron Hill is that their quality of beer is it's up there, and they are pretty regular in the way they contribute to the GABF, and I follow them on Facebook and that kind of stuff, and I'm a regular there just because the other job I have is fairly close to our local Iron Hill, and it's pretty awesome to go there and just grab whatever's the newest thing that they released, and you don't have to worry about what you're ordering because it's going to be good.
They were also a huge winner in this year's World Beer Cup as well.
There's something else in this beer that I can't put my finger on.
It's really good.
There's that, but it's
got a very pleasant sweetness.
It really does,
really
yeah.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
But there's a little bit of tart to it.
Bingo.
Yeah, just a smidge.
Bingo.
Yeah.
Because I'm going back and forth. I just finished my consecration from Russian River, and there's a little bit of that tartness on this Belgian golden ale.
Yep.
And that's what really is what...
It's like right on top of the Belgian characteristics.
Absolutely.
Like right on top.
Yep.
You get the sweetness from the Belgian, but before that is, boom, tart. I like it.
Yeah. Yeah, and it makes the rest of all that Belgian stuff, because sometimes Belgian, it's like, yeah, bubblegum, great. Banana, great. But the tartness on top of that Belgian...
cuts it a little bit, yeah.
Yeah, that's perfect.
It's held up quite nicely.
What I like about...
Yeah, over 3 years, yeah, absolutely.
It's probably way longer than that.
Wow.
Yeah, it could be. It's got the sweetness, like you say, bubblegum, banana, and those sort of estery sweetnesses. But it's almost like I'm getting like a pure sugar sweetness. Like just like the essence of sweetness. And maybe I've had too much beer, and I don't know what I'm talking about.
No such thing, my
but that's
friend.
what it made me think of.
But you said estuary, so you must know what you're talking about.
Yes, that is a hipster buzzword that I've learned to use now.
All right, I gotta mention the bottle that's going around.
Yeah.
I can't not. This.
Wait, and first of all, this bottle
Back to
was
Lancaster.
purchased and given to us by 2 of our patrons.
Oh,
Just so you know.
That's
Can I guess
cuter
which
than a
two?
puppy dog.
I think I know
Vic-
which
The
Vic-
two.
2 that
and
live in the
Wolfgang.
city where this brewery is located.
Yeah. So it's the Anivivery.
It's not Anivivery. It should be Anivivery.
Anivivery.
But it's Anivivery. Yes.
Anivivery.
Anivivery.
Anivivery. And I feel like we've had this on the show before.
No, we have
No?
not.
No?
Because this is the bourbon barrel aged.
That little girl squeal. Was
Wow.
precious.
Oh, that was the best.
So this is something else from St. Boniface, which is again part of our upcoming season, and they do really amazing beers.
Yeah, they do.
Their regular hegemony is far and away my favorite stout. When I'm looking for a stout, what I think of is hegemony, and everything else compares to that. It's also the beer that really put them on the map as a brewery. And so what they did, I believe, with this, I have not tasted this yet, but I've read about it a lot on Facebook, is that they went back to their original recipe, which incorporated some things that is not in their current production recipe when they were brewing on like a 1-barrel system, and now they're up to many barrels.
They are up to many barrels, yes.
That's the technical term.
This is a many barrel system? or lots of hectoliters.
A metric.
Hello, I would like to order a many barrel system.
God, this is incredible.
It's really good.
So
I mean,
it's bourbon
barrel aged,
hegemony.
original recipe hegemony, Anivivery.
Oh my gosh.
This could be one of the
distilled essence of the awesomeness that is St. Boniface.
And the 5 is the 5th anniversary of
Right.
St. Boniface. So they've been around now for 5 years. They just finished a little bit of a remodel of their tap room. So if you haven't been there in the past 6 months or so, definitely get there. If you would like to get there in the next 6 months, then you can also buy a membership to Lancaster Community Supported Beer, and they're on our list because
August.
That's right.
absolutely, yeah. And one of the cool things that we love about St. Boniface and we love about Dane is that they really got the vision of what Lancaster Community Supported Beer could be for Lancaster County, and they were and always will be the first brewery to say, yeah, we're going to do it. We're going to sign up for this. And they signed up for it knowing that there's a chance that other breweries wouldn't sign up for it when we were creating something that was brand new and had never been done before. And they were saying, well, how is this different from things like Susquehanna Rail Trail, and asking all those kind of questions, and we were able to provide some answers for them. And they hold a special place in my heart.
They took a chance.
Yeah.
They took a chance on
Yeah.
us, as Abba would say.
Yeah. That's right. I mean, I remember sitting with all 3 of those guys, Dane and Mike and John, and sitting in their current brewery, and while we were having a meeting about what Lancaster CSB could be, there was like an electrician running wiring to their current brewing setup. Like that's and they've done so many amazing things with malt and barley and hops
and
Water.
and water, and it's
Water.
it's glorious. And I just every time they come out with something new, I can't wait to try it.
Oh my God.
It's an awesome place to live 5 miles from. So
Absolutely.
if you have not been there, you should go there.
Definitely.
And if you haven't purchased a membership to Lancaster CSB, then you should also do that.
Yes,
Right.
you
If you
should
need-
definitely do that.
Yep, if you need a reason to go there, Lancaster CSB can provide that reason.
For sure. And
LancasterCSB.com.
you can pre-order your summer fall membership right now on LancasterCSB.com. You definitely want to do that. I mean, $60 for 6 months worth of growlers is awesome. So take advantage of it. It's a great discount. It's a way to encourage you to go out and check out local new breweries that are making great beers, which I think we've made evident tonight. And
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of outtakes, so sign up for the outtakes.
Yeah, sign up for our newsletter.
There's a lot of
or
things.
become a patron. Our patrons, by the way, now officially get all of the outtakes first.
Officially.
Yeah.
Officially.
And if you want to go and drink a lot of beer, and perhaps maybe Andrew will be there since it's his local area, go to the Effort of Brewfest on Saturday, June 25th. Get your tickets now. They're only $30 in advance. They'll be $40 at the gate. There's going to be lots of great local breweries, especially the Lancaster area breweries will be in attendance. And then the Pottstown Brewfest on Saturday, October 22nd. Get your VIP tickets now before they sell out. Only $75, but it's lots of rare beers will be available to you. General admission, $45. And tons of breweries that I will try to say in one breath eventually, but probably not for a while.
You'll get there.
I thought it was
And
I want
now.
Tomorrow is St. Boniface.
Yes.
So
if
go
you're-
to St. Boniface.
If you're listening to this when
If
it
it's
releases.
not sold out.
When it
June
releases.
4th, 2016.
If you're listening to this like 6 months after it releases, go in 6 months
Go,
when the next one is.
go find yourself a DeLorean
it's
and
amazing.
go.
I will be there.
And a Marty
You know where-
McFly PA.
Yes.
And a Marty McFly PA.
You know where I'm going to be? It's going to be my daughter's 1 year birthday.
All right.
We're
That
having
wins.
Paloma
sweet.
Fest.
Oh, that's
So-
cool. That's cool.
Aw.
All right.
Oh, Paloma.
So I want to float something out there, and I'm going to go ahead and put this on the airways without consulting my business partners.
Oh,
Oh,
shit.
God.
Pottstown Beer Fest, VIP hour, Beer Busters t-shirts, normally $20, 2 for $30. Boom. VIPs only.
If you mention that you heard it here on this podcast.
If you heard it on the podcast.
Show us a tweet first.
You say, I actually listened to the entire Lancaster CSB episode.
Yeah.
And heard you say
There's a mystery word at the end.
If you've made it this
the
far,
mystery word
What's
is...
the password?
If you made it this far, you deserve
if you've
deserve
made
it.
it this far, you deserve a half-price t-shirt.
I don't remember tonight. Mostly.
This would be so good with like a scoop of vanilla ice cream in
Oh,
yeah.
Steph,
I
do you have
would,
ice cream?
it. So when
No.
you said I'm going to float this out there, all I could think was ice cream in this hegemony beer. That's like literally. I'm like,
And
should I
that's-
interrupt him or?
This hegemony is phenomenal.
It's really good.
It's really good.
This is one of the best things I've ever put in my mouth. Yeah, I don't know what made it in the episode at this point, but
Patreon.com/beerbusters.
yes, what Steph just said.
Beerbusterspodcast.com.
What-
Effort to Brewfest, Pottstown Brewfest.
Audibletrial.com.
Audibletrial.com/beerbusters.
/beerbusters.
LancasterCSB.com.
Lancaster
Wow.
CSB.
Pre-order your membership.
LancasterCSB.com.
I think we got it all.
Facebook, Pinterest. We don't have a Pinterest.
Oh,
Where that came
that
from.
is not happening.
No, we're not doing it.
Enough is enough.
If you want to know how to decorate your baby's room,
Yeah. Look somebody else up on Pinterest.
put a bird on it. What else do we need to say?
Yeah,
But we do Instagram, Vine, all those.
Wait a minute. What's this we stuff? Steph does
Steph.
our Instagram and Vine.
Yeah,
and-
but we are often the subjects.
that's true.
of
That's
those
true.
things.
Steph, we appreciate
When
everything
you're
you do.
dumb.
Like when I had my girlish squeal. If you needed any more reason, as if you did, if you needed any more reason to sign up for a CSB membership, you can have your own super drunk shenanigans like we did tonight. And with a little luck, you'll remember more than I do right now. With a little luck.
It's a little luck from
Yes.
my
A little help
ears.
from my friends.
Yes. You guys are doing an amazing thing. And it's incredible. And I'm glad you guys have seen this level of success so far. And it's going to skyrocket. And I hope you're ready for that. It's amazing.
You better
guys,
prepare yourself.
yeah. No, you guys.
Now that it's on Beer Busters Nation,
You got the beer busters.
You just scared us all of a sudden.
No.
You better be. You
call
better be
1-800
ready.
Beer Busters and sign up right now.
Oh God.
No, you guys, you're doing a great thing. You're bringing an already tight-knit community even closer together, and that's the even better part. And you're taking a model that's been there from vegetables that I don't eat, but applying it to beer that I do drink, and it's great. You guys are awesome. $60 is a steal for this membership. So, LancasterCSB.com. thank you guys for being here.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
It's been awesome being here. Love drinking this beer with you. I'm glad we can share this Lancaster experience with you guys, and look forward to next time we're here.
Absolutely.
Me too.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Me too.
100th episode?
Oh,
Oh,
Yeah,
I got that email earlier today.
all right. Yeah,
Coming up.
that's in the very close future.
That's coming up.
But as for now, this brings
But it's
us
top secret. Don't tell the internet.
Yes. This brings us to the end of another episode of Beer Busters Podcast. And seriously, guys, Andrew, Joel, thank you for being here. This was great. There's a lot of good stuff. $60 is not a bad price at all for this membership. You get a 6-month membership. You get to drink growlers from every brewery they have listed. The beers tonight were great, and it's awesome. Well, I am Dan Baker, joined as always by my co-host and brewologist,
Steph Hefner.
and the demented and fermented
Wayne Baker, air keyboardist extraordinaire.
air pianoing.
Air penis.
Yes, let's not forget, no squids were harmed in the making of this particular episode. We will see you next time.
I don't speak easy, but I got fast ears.
Booyah.